We are starting a project. This is one of three class projects that we will be looking at in this course. And as I said, most of the concepts that we see for the rest of the semester will be introduced through these class projects. So let's talk about a software system. The first step in any construction of a software system is to figure out what the users want. That is the purpose of the stage called analysis. So in a software development life cycle, we have several stages. The first one is determining the requirements of the system that we want to construct, and that is called analysis. This is followed by a design. We are undertaking object-oriented design, so we come up with classes and interfaces and relationships between classes. We need to know the methods of these interfaces and classes, so on and so forth. After that, we code the classes and interfaces and test them, and we frequently revise our design and implementation so that things improve in one way or the other. That is called refactoring. And once we finish testing and once we are confident that we have a working system, we install it on the client's machine, and the system is then used, and we do what is called maintenance. It is inevitable that industry will change, the companies will change, they will introduce new products, so their requirements will change. They will have bugs. Whatever you created will definitely have bugs. It's a fact of life. So we need to make changes to the software. That is called maintenance. So the first stage is analysis. That's what we will study in lectures 5 and 6. Analysis involves understanding the business processes. What does the business do? What are their requirements? We need to interview the user community, read documentation, and maybe even go to their site, maybe work there for work, meaning do your work, not their work, understanding their requirements, etc. And as we gather information, we need to document them. And what we will do in our first class project is to write what are called use cases. And then we develop a conceptual model of the system, listing what the conceptual classes are. We will see what those things mean a little later and how they are related to each other. It is important that analysis be done properly. The requirements are understood correctly. And if you don't do that, you will be constructing the wrong system, and fixing flaws later can be very costly because you would have spent a lot of time designing and implementing a system that is not quite what is required. Requirements are not always clear. Users are not always clear as to what they want. They may not know what technology can do for them. So it is up to the analyst, the person who, or the team that tries to understand the requirements, to be aware of these facts, that it is their role to ask the users what they exactly want and get those requirements as precisely as possible. There are two types of requirements. One is functional requirements. What should the system do? For example, we are going to see a library system. One of the requirements is that users or the members or the customers be issued books. That is a functional requirement. There are non-functional requirements such as response time of interactive screens, throughput, usability, accuracy, etc. It is also important to see what does not happen during analysis. We don't do any kind of design. We don't determine which programming languages should be used. We don't usually decide whether it is going to be distributed or centralized. Then we don't worry about which operating system should be used. We don't write programs, we don't test, we don't debug, we don't install. We simply understand the requirements.